What's going on, guys? I am in the war room the morning after, and I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm just doing it right now. I'm doing it. The first ATL of the season. Rapid reaction to all of your good picks and dumb picks. I'm sitting here at 8:44 in the morning. None of your drunk asses are out of bed yet, so I'm kind of bored. So I'm doing it. I'm just going to do it right now. I'm super excited about an upgrade in my YouTube studio in the home office, but why not? Why not just do it now? So what I'm going to do is go through all of your teams and hopefully quickly tell you a pick I like and a pick I do not like. A couple of housekeeping things first. Thank you. Thank you to everybody involved in putting this on. Zeph, who gave me a ride up here because my car's in the shop, my power steering's out, blah, blah, blah. Thank you to Zeph. Thank you to Tim Klett. The hot beef with peppers. So damn good. I ate 3 sandwiches, which probably saved my life because I had 8 or 9 or 12 bourbons throughout the course of the day. And the beef may have saved my life. And it was just so dang good. It was so dang good. Thank you to Birder. Holy crap. Like, I don't know what it took to procure this thing, this house. But the ability to host a draft here in the shadow of Lambeau Field, have everyone meet, hang out, just so very, very cool, and just so generous. You know, everyone is just very generous in this league, and it's been going for 15 years, and a lot of people like to bitch, and then a lot of people bitch about the people who like to bitch, but when we can all get together and talk smart and have fun, it's just a very cool thing. And Birder, I don't think you asked for any money, but I'll be hitting you up for a Venmo just because, as a token of my appreciation. I encourage all of the other league mates to do the same. It doesn't have to be, $1,000 or anything, but as a token, as a, hey, you done good, Birder, with this year's draft, I think that would be polite. Just talking out of my ass, but that's what I think. Okay, let's do this thing. Let's just do this thing. I'm gonna do rapid reaction. So let's go with team 1, Alex and Luke. Luke's a dude, man. He was telling jokes, having drinks, having fun, accepting the role of sticker man. Not how Dustin put it. But really good. I like that guy, man. But now I gotta rip on his team a little bit. What pick do I like? Tony Pollard in pick 6, man. Running backs went early and often, and to get a starting RB, especially with Tyjae Spears injured for who knows how long, and it doesn't seem to be that Pollard is being pushed by anyone other than Spears. There's no young buck rookie out there to steal carries. So Pollard, I think, in the 6th round, pretty good value. Pretty good value. I would say that's a pretty wise pick. I mean, he got sniped a little bit. I would have rather had Pacheco, I think, 2 picks earlier. And also Breece Hall, 4 picks before that. So there's some dudes that went before that would have been nice. But, I mean, Pollard was kind of the last of the good, reasonably good starters, right? And listen, that's one of the keys to drafting. You always want the last of that tier. I think Alex Luke got the last of the tier of good starting running backs. All right, here's a pick I don't like. I don't see the need for David Njoku in the 8th. That is the second tight end. When you spend second round capital to get Trey McBride, and then in the 8th round, you come back and take Njoku. This is not about the player. Njoku may go off. He may be great. Njoku may go nuts. But you went kind of all in on Trey McBride. You're going to be starting him every week. Unless you want to go that double tight end set, which I don't think you want to do, I don't see the point of Njoku. Let me just give you some picks that were around there. And I don't know if we're going up or down, but Bryce Young, Zay Flowers, Romadunze, Igbuka, Stefan Diggs, Chris Olave, Ricky Pearsall. A lot of guys who were useful, who maybe would have cracked your lineup before Njoku, went after Njoku. So, listen, get that backup tight end. That's real neat. I don't think 8th round capital on a backup tight end is a wise use of a draft. Just my take. Schneider, jump in the chat. Tell me what a fucking idiot I am. That's fine. That's what I expect out of you. Go ahead. I'll take it. I'll be okay. All right, Rob. Let's go to the second team. Rob, there are a lot of teams who did not draft in ways that they traditionally draft. Rob, I think, is one of them, and Dorsch is definitely another one. We'll get to Dorsch in a minute, but let's talk about Rob. I was surprised by Bijan Robinson as the second pick. And Rob, jump in the chat, give me your rationale. But I think in a super flex league, I think you have to get one of the top 4 mobile quarterbacks. Otherwise, why are you even selecting the second slot? Like, why didn't you pick 5th? Or even 6th if you think the top 5 quarterbacks are going? Bijan Robinson that shook up the whole draft, in my opinion. And that's a good thing. I just don't know why you want pick 2 if you're not gunning for one of the top 4 quarterbacks. Listen, you want a mobile quarterback who's going to run for some touchdowns. It's a huge, major advantage in this league to have one of those 4 guys, provided, of course, that they don't get injured. Anyone can get injured. We all know that. But having Allen, Lamar, Daniels, or Hurts, that's where you want to be if you had one of the top 4 picks. So Bijan Robinson is probably going to be great. I just don't get this one. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So there you go. What is a pick I like? I like Braylon Allen in the 10th. There's a reason Breece Hall went so late. People see the writing on the wall. I think there's going to be a committee in New York for the football Jets. I think Braylon Allen may end up seizing that role. Any Wisconsin Badgers fan knows that he's supremely talented. I think that's a pretty darn good pick. I enjoy it. Brock Purdy in the 3rd as well, considering the quarterback run that went after. I think Purdy in the 3rd round is pretty neat. Yeah. All right, let's talk about Cowboy. Let's talk about that guy. I think he drafted a pretty Cowboy team. I think he stuck to what he usually does, which is just take BPA. I think Cowboy's a very BPA guy. And if anyone slips, Team Barrett is there to snatch him up. So here's a pick I like. Pacheco in the 6th. Why would you not want Kansas City's running back in the 6th round? I don't think Kareem Hunt. I don't think that guy they drafted, I forget his name. I don't think either of them are going to threaten Pacheco. Kansas City doesn't tush push. You know, they do some of those janky shovel passes to Kelsey and whoever. that may vulture some touchdowns. But I think having Kansas City's running back is a really good spot to be. And in the 6th round, you know, you're able to fill out the rest of your roster and then snap up a really good RB2 in the 6th. I think that's good drafting. I think that's taking what the defense gives you or what the draft gives you, so to speak. So yeah, I'm in on that one. As far as a pick I don't like, honestly, that's a tough one. I think Cowboy made solid picks. Did he need, I guess I ripped on second tight end. Did Cowboy need a third quarterback in the 8th? He took Bryce Young in the 8th. If all goes according to plan, no effing way Bryce Young is going to see the field. Maybe based on matchup, but you're benching Bo Nix based on matchup? What matchup is that? Quite honestly. So, listen, maybe Bryce Young is trade bait, and that's great. But a lot of useful players at a position available in the 8th, and then, maybe it's just a difference in philosophy, but, you're kind of hoping Bryce Young never sees your lineup except for bye weeks. And listen, if Bryce Young wins you a game in a bye week because he blows up, then mention that to me in the chat, Cowboy, and I guess I'll eat my words. All right, let's move on to Ward, Team 4. We're 12 minutes into this video. I better keep it moving. Keep her moving. What's the pick I like? Jaden Daniels with the 4th pick is obvious. All right. I talked a lot about Tua Tagovailoa, how my drafting style lends itself to me being the donkey who has to start Tua and him getting immediately injured and me regretting it and chasing QB the rest of the season. Well, that is you, Scott Ward. That is you, not me. I guess I'll criticize Tua in the 6th. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Yeah, you took him basically last. I mean, what else? What other options did you have? You could have taken Cam Ward. You could have taken the aforementioned Bryce Young. You were kind of stuck there. Hindsight is 20/20, Ward, obviously. I might have waited a couple rounds and gotten Michael Penix or Penix Jr. Tua is just going to get hurt. You also, and I just ripped on Cowboy for this, but if you have Tua, any quarterback can get injured. But if you have a real injury-y quarterback, maybe you come back around a couple of rounds later and get a solid third. That's something I would do. That's something you did not do, which, I guess I'm calling you out for. Tua might be fine. You stacked him with Tyreek Hill. If Miami goes off, you're laughing and you're jumping in the chat saying, what a dumbass I am, which will be correct. Javonte Williams in the 12th, that's a damn fine pick. Everyone has no idea how it's going to shake out in Dallas, but what if it's Javonte Williams? What if you have Dallas's RB1 in the 12th round? I mean, Javonte Williams just sat there and sat there and sat there. And you scooped him up in the 12th, man. I think that's a really good pick. I like Eckler in the 10th as well. We'll talk about why when we get to Dorsch's team. All right, Tim Klett, hot beef. There's a fly here. Hot beef. Let's talk about you. Pretty solid draft, man. Pretty solid draft. I mean, Breece Hall probably should have been a 4th round pick or a 5th round pick, but you got him almost on the back end of the 6th. I mean, you didn't necessarily need a running back at that point. You had two. You had Bucky Irving and R.J. Harvey. Um, but sometimes value just comes and bites you, and you got to take it. You have to take it. What choice do you have? So you snapped up Breece Hall. And listen, it doesn't matter if Breece Hall works out. No one can see the future. Anyone who is an expert at this or good at this thinks Breece Hall probably should not last that long. So you scooped up the value, and that was a good thing. All right, what's a pick I don't like? I think you drafted a fairly solid team. I would be fairly worried about DK Metcalf as your second wide receiver. I don't know what Pittsburgh's offense is going to look like. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is washed. I don't know what kind of plays Arthur Smith is going to run. I do have a slight worry that DK Metcalf is just going to be running wind sprints, like just go routes that never connect all game for Pittsburgh. I do worry about that. Now, you have Roma Dunze, who can maybe slide into wide receiver too. But would I be thrilled about Metcalf as my second wide receiver? No, I wouldn't be thrilled about that. So I guess that's the pick that, I don't like. I think your team's very solid. Yeah, very solid. All right, let's talk to Zeph. First time meeting Zeph in person for a lot of us, and that's pretty cool. So thanks to Zeph for making the trip. Thanks for scooping your boy up from Milwaukee, the mean streets of Milwaukee, and making the trip to Green Bay. Let's talk about your team. You went out. I liked your style of drafting. You went out and got dudes that you wanted. And if you picked them a half a round early or a round early, who gives a rip? Because you got your dudes. You got your dudes. That was very clear. Did Amarian Hampton need to go in the second round? He probably did. I'm not sure he's getting back around to the third round for you. So you like Amarian Hampton? You got him. And he's probably going to be a dude. I mean, by all accounts, he is going to get the rock for a team that loves to run. So you took your shot in the second round with him. That's straight. I'll shout out that pick. I like that pick. What is a pick I don't like? It's not a lot I don't like. You scooped up a lot of good effing value at the end. Egbuka, Travis Hunter in the 10th. Travis Hunter should not have lasted till the 10th. I should have taken him earlier than that. Did you take 3 tight ends? The sticker board says you took 3 tight ends. Let me see if I can replicate this. Ferguson, Milrow. No, it appears you did not take 3 tight ends. Okay. Here's the pick I'll take issue with. Did you need to take Hawkinson in the 5th? I don't think you did. And listen, this is hindsight, but after Kittle goes, I mean, no tight end got taken for 2 rounds until Sam Laporta at the bottom of the 7th, I think. So, listen, you're a Vikings fan. Hawkinson is ya boy. And he might smash this year. He might absolutely smash. That is a guy, I think, that could have waited. I know I just lauded you for taking your boys, even if it was around early. I think Hawkinson might have been a 2-round reach. I think Laporta, I think the next tight end drafter would have taken Laporta over Hawkinson anyway. So if I were you, would have taken the chance and waited till Laporta went and then scooped up Hawkinson if you really wanted him. All right, we're almost 20 minutes in, and I've got 6 teams left. Good job, Walsh. Dusty. Dusty. Listen, I talked about it during the draft. Musgrave. Maybe you have inside intel, and Musgrave is going to be the starting tight end for the Packers. He didn't even have a sticker, bro. You could have gotten him so much later. Um, I, yeah, that that's just a donkey pick. It's a donkey pick. You're a donkey, Dusty. But we all knew that. We all knew you were a donkey. You're a lovable donkey, but you're a donkey. What pick do I like of yours? Um, Saquon, Josh Jacobs start pretty effing solid. Um, you're obviously a Packers homer, which is fine. That's wonderful. I'm proud of you. But Josh Jacobs, I mean, especially now that Marshawn Lloyd is hurt again, he's going to get every carry. They're just going to run that dude into the ground. He's going to get everything. Jordan Love ain't going to be running balls into the end zone. Every rushing touchdown, 98% of them are going to Josh Jacobs. So Jacobs in the second, just a damn solid pick. You're going to be happy. And Barkley, Jacobs, Alvin Kamara, 2 RBs and a flex. That's a team you're going to have to respect. All right. Pew pew. Let's get to Dorsch. Dorsch, you were drunk. You didn't drive drunk. You drafted drunk. You drafted drunk. You did. Here's what Dorsch does. He takes a really good rookie running back a round early, not 8 rounds early, a round early. He sets up his backfield to where it's awesome. And then what he does in the 4th week of the season, he preys upon another team who had their running back injured. And he trades his RB4 and his wide receiver 4 for their wide receiver 1. And he says, oh, you're getting 2 starters for 1. And it's the classic 2 dimes for a quarter trade that Dorsch has pulled off 75,000 fucking times in the world. And it's infuriating. Dorsch didn't do any of that. He didn't do any of that. What is a pick I don't like? We got to talk about Bill. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. Listen, the pick is fine. The pick in the 6th round is not fine. It's not fine, Dorsch. And listen, I will make you a gentleman's bet. I will say that Chris Rodriguez, also a Washington Commanders running back, I will say that he will be picked up as a waiver wire selection at one point in the first 3 weeks of the season, because I think Chris Rodriguez is actually the starting running back in Washington. So I'll make you that gentleman's bet. Somebody is going to pick up Chris Rodriguez, and you will be stuck with a 6th round Bill. He might be great at the end of the season. There's no world in which you needed to take him in the 6th round. There's just not. And you have a weird team this year. What are you doing taking J.J. McCarthy in the 5th? You hate the Vikings. You hate J.J. McCarthy. You didn't want him. If you didn't want Justin Jefferson, by extension, you probably don't want J.J. McCarthy. Anyway. Oh, I gotta, what did you do good? I'm sorry, Dorsch. I'm so very mean to you. Listen, Chris Godwin in the 12th, I think he's dead. I think Chris Godwin is dead. But if he's not dead, you got Chris Godwin in the 12th. So, good job by you. All right, 4 teams left. 24 minutes in. Hope you guys are loving this video. All right, Walsh, my team. What did I do right? Listen, I made a gutsy call in the 2nd round. After QB 7, which was Justin Fields, I think QB 8 and QB, say, 22 are very close together. So in my mock drafting, if I got a QB there that I liked, and his name was Justin Fields, the rest of the draft seemed to set up very well for what I wanted to do. So I took Fields. A lot of you out there think it was a reach. And maybe it was a reach. Maybe Justin Fields is going to suck. I think he's going to run. And I think he's going to be good. But the rest of the draft set up pretty well for me. Mike Evans, Calvin Ridley, Jalen Waddle, Jawan Jennings. I think that's just a fine wide receiver core that will hold serve. And then I think I have a pretty nice advantage over a lot of you at running back with Henderson, Kenneth Walker, and Gibbs. I like the way my team's set up. Now listen, if Fields and Cam Ward suck, my team's going to suck. That's unfortunate. But, you know, you got to take chances in this world. All right, 3 teams left. Steel. Shout out to Steel's proxy. I believe it's Mike. Mike. He was a solid dude, man. Laughed at some of our dumb jokes. Drafted a pretty good team according to the manifesto. So shout out to that dude. We should get him in the league for real, actually. Anyway, who do I like? Kittle in the 4th, nice pick. Trevor Lawrence in the 6th. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a bounce back year, and that is pretty neat. Who do I not like? I think David Montgomery as a keeper in the 5th was a miscalculation by Steele. I don't think David Montgomery would have gone in the 5th round. I think he probably would have gone in the 6th. I would rather have Breece Hall in the 6th. I would rather have Pacheco in the 6th. I would rather have Tony Pollard in the 6th than Montgomery in the 5th. So, not my jam personally. Tim Klett just called me on the phone. I've got to call him back. So, last 2 teams, you're getting short shrift a little bit. Birdman. Shout out Birder. Oh, I like Ricky Pearsall in the 9th for you. At least until Ayuk gets back. I think he's going to be a dude. Colston Loveland, you just waited on tight end all the way to the 12th round. I think Loveland is going to be potentially really solid. And if he's not solid, you just drop him and pick up, I don't know, pick up whoever got injured, or Miami's tight end, or whoever the hell. So Loveland, I think, is pretty solid. If there's a pick I don't like, kind of like your team, dude. I kind of like your team. I think you're short on some running backs. I think that you have CMC and Achane, and then not a lot in back of them. So if either of those 2 dudes get injured, I think your team is potentially in trouble. All right, Elliot, good to see you. Good to see you. Jefferson, Mahomes off the top, no problem with that. Malik Neighbors as a keeper, that's pretty neat. Garrett Wilson in the fucking 6th round, that's ridiculous value. Say what you want about Justin Fields and the Jets. Garrett Wilson going to get his. Tyrone Tracy, solid pick in the 8th. Getting Mixon in the 9th. Mixon might be dead, but it's still a solid pick. All right, here's the pick I'll rip on. Judkins for Cleveland has not been signed. He's not been signed. He's not signed with a team, and he may be suspended until God knows when. And listen, he's a talent, but I've got a feeling if Judkins is not signed by week 2, he's going to be on your waiver wire. The 11th round is the 11th round, but there are still useful players you could have gotten there. Tyjae Spears you could have had. You could have had Ramondre Stevenson. You could have had Jerome Ford if you really liked a Cleveland running back there. So I think Judkins was not your best pick. All right, we're getting to a half hour. I have no idea how I'm going to upload this to YouTube. It'll probably take 7 hours. But rapid reaction to all your drafts and a thank you, because I had super much fun. If I didn't say it before, I'll say it again. Thank you, Zeph. Thank you, Birdman. Thank you, Tim Klett. Thanks to all you guys who showed up and had fun. Next ATL will be from the home office. Good to see all you donkeys. Bye.